9:40 as is tradition. We're sort of running behind schedule, but it is nonetheless
time to call your lawyer.
As we get our friend and attorney for the injured, Bruce L. Scheiner, on the phone to ask the lawyer one of your questions. If you have a question about the law, if you're involved in some kind of legal situation you don't understand, I'll tell you how to get your question answered coming up. Pretty straightforward, but first things first. This week's question to be answered. Now remember, what you're about to hear should not be taken as specific legal advice in your specific legal situation. The old expression is the devil's in the details, and that is never more true than in a situation like this, which is why it's imperative that you sit down and have a face-to-face meeting with an attorney like Bruce L. Scheiner that offers free consultations. You see, if you make a statement, if you sign a document, if you say something on a recorded phone call, you could throw your rights away. Don't let that happen before you make any such mistakes. Talk with a professional. Get that free consultation. Bruce L. Scheiner offers free consultations to take advantage of that. And I'll tell you how to get in contact with his local offices coming up in a moment. But first, let's see what Bruce thinks about today's legal brain teaser. Would you please make welcome Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Good morning, Bruce. What's new?
Good morning, Todd. I got something really special to look forward to. In about 2 weeks, they're going to call me Poppy.
Oh, it's almost that time.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that is awesome. We've been talking off and on now for months about your, is it your granddaughter?
A grandson.
Grandson, that's correct. And has the name been chosen yet?
Yes, his name is going to be Jett, Jett, Paxton Scheiner.
Wow. That reads real nice on a business card. I can already see it. And congratulations in advance. Obviously, a very exciting time.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's one of those things that it's not exciting for everybody. Some folks have got the other side of the coin, which is they're having some down luck right now. And such is the case with somebody who's given us a question. Would you like to take a crack at answering it this morning?
I would love to try.
Okay, here we go. It says, my son was passenger in a pickup truck. When the truck was rear-ended, that person was cited for texting while driving and failure to stop for a red light. A couple of days later, my son's back began hurting and he wanted to see a doctor. When we contacted the insurance company of the at-fault driver, they said we needed to go through our insurance. My son doesn't have a car, but is covered on our policy. Is that true? Won't that cause my insurance rates to go up? It just doesn't seem fair. When I had made a couple of claims on my homeowner's insurance rates, my insurance rates went through the roof. So all kinds of things going on here. Number one, we can't shake our fingers enough at those who text and drive. Shame on you.
Well, not only shame on you, but we're establishing a very interesting body of law when it comes to texting, and that is when you're in a normal car accident or motor vehicle accident, you're entitled to what's known as compensatory damages to compensate someone for the actual monetary losses like medical bills in the past and medical bills in the future and loss of income and things like that. Plus, they're entitled to pain and suffering and all the items that we normally seek.
Right.
But when someone's texting, it's kind of equivalent to someone driving while they're drunk. And the courts have been allowing the jury to consider awarding punitive damages when the other person's texting, because they consider it to be willful, wanton disregard for other people's safety. So in these cases where texting is involved, it is somewhat similar to getting hit by a drunk driver.
Okay.
But to go back to the caller's question, in Florida, we've discussed this many times, but we have what's called fault insurance. And the reason it's called no fault is that under your policy, and if you are someone that doesn't have a car and doesn't have a policy, you're allowed to recover from a resident relative, like this question. the son is allowed to make a claim against the father's policy for his medical bills. And under the personal injury protection, which is known as PIP, they pay 80% of your medical bills up to $10,000. Now, the father's insurance premium should not, and I emphasize should not, go up because his son was a passenger in someone else's car that was hit by a texting driver. I can never guarantee that insurance company will not raise the rates, but in my 45 years of experience as a personal injury attorney, if you're involved in an isolated accident that's not your fault, they should not raise your rates. Number one, for making a claim under your personal injury protection benefits or making a claim for uninsured motorist benefits if that was required.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you for giving some good advice here to this young man and his family. Start with your own insurance company and see a personal injury attorney. There's absolutely no reason not to get a free consultation on something like that.
Absolutely.
All right, Bruce, thanks again for the advice. We look forward to talking to you again next Wednesday.
I'll put it on my calendar.
As will we. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Now, if you would like to get your question answered, I would recommend that you have a sit-down face-to-face with Bruce or one of his associates and get some good advice that way. But if you want to send it to us by email, we're more than happy to consider it for inclusion in a future segment of Ask the Lawyer. Simply go to the website at kickscountry929.com and look for Bruce L. Scheiner. Now, if you would like to sit down with an attorney and get a consultation, that's highly recommended, especially before you say anything or sign anything. Their Port Charlotte office can be reached at 941-743-7777. 941-743-7777. Find out how to protect yourself and your interests by calling today. Tell them that Todd Matthews sent you. They'll take exceptional good care of you at 941-743-7777. And please tell them that Todd says hi from Kicks Country 92.9.